The controversy I analyzed was minimum wage laws in the state of Arizona. I took a look at a few important pros and cons and how an overall increase in the minimum wage affects Arizona's economy. Here is a video regarding the topic.
Raise a family, earn a living, pursue happiness. All things Americans around the country aspire to do. Will raising the minimum wage make achieving the American dream easier? To begin, let's break down why we as Americans want and need jobs. A job is simply a paid piece of work that is in demand by someone else. Some jobs take more skills than others, while some jobs are in higher demand than others. Let's take a look at NBA superstar LeBron James. He makes over $30 million per year. How can that cost be justified? Simple economics. The supply of players like LeBron James is very low, while the demand is very high. People will pay huge amounts of money to go watch NBA games. Oppositely, low-wage workers, for example fast food workers, are paid for low-skilled jobs. The supply of these workers who can successfully work these jobs is very high, thus why they get paid minimum wage. The minimum wage came into play in the United States economy in 1938 through the Fair Labor Standards Act. It is simply a price floor that prevents employers from paying their employees below a certain amount. In the U.S., just 3.3% of workers are making the minimum wage. To make that number seem even less, most of that 3.3% are people in high school or people working a part-time job. The most important point about raising the minimum wage is the fact that it affects more than just low-wage workers. Raising the minimum wage affects the employers that have to pay those higher wages. They are forced to somehow compensate for the higher costs. If they cannot justify those higher costs, employees will lose their jobs. Additionally, raising the minimum wage affects all consumers. When wages increase, typically the prices of goods and services will also increase. This concept is known as inflation, an increases in prices and a fall in purchasing power of the US dollar. Considering all the factors, many economists believe that minimum wage increases lead to unemployment and actually hurt the low-wage workers the increases are supposed to help. Because employers have to justify the higher cost of paying their employees, many are beginning to innovate and replace those low-skilled jobs with other techniques. No matter what side you agree with, the value of employees always has to outweigh their costs, or else employers will not be able to justify paying them. The opposing argument of those who agree with an increase in the minimum wage believe that increasing wages causes people to spend more money and actually stimulates the economy. Many supporters also believe higher wages tend to lead to more productivity. Additionally, the moral argument of giving all people, no matter the education level, the equal opportunity to succeed and live comfortably is just the right thing to do. In the state of Arizona specifically, Proposition 206 just raised the state's minimum wage to $10 per hour for 2017, with 50-cent increments each year to $12 per hour in 2020. The United States has recently been seeing individual states take the initiative to raise their state's minimum wage to accommodate their specific cost of living. In short, nobody actually knows the correct answer to whether or not minimum wages should be raised. The best solution to being able to raise a family and pursue the American dream successfully is simply acquiring a skill that is in high demand. This starts with pursuing professional development and an education.
So as you can see, minimum wage laws are obviously very controversial. Like mentioned in the video, in the state of Arizona, Proposition 206 just recently raised the state's minimum wage to $10 an hour for 2017 with 50-cent increments each year to $12 per hour by 2020. Only time will tell how the dramatic change will affect our local and state economy. Some pros of the argument would include a decrease in poverty and an increased standard of living, but that situation is definitely not guaranteed. With the economic law of supply and demand, I suspect many low-wage employees will lose their jobs because employers will not be able to justify the higher costs. The laws intended to reduce poverty actually may end up increasing it. The best solution to preventing this is pursuing an education and, like I mentioned in the video, acquiring a skill that is highly demanded by employers. So it'll force them to justify paying you a decent wage. Thank you.